Faith is one of the most used and most misunderstood words in the Christian life. For most people it functions as a synonym for hope, a warm feeling that things will probably work out, a kind of spiritual optimism. And when the feeling fades, they wonder if their faith has too. Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." This verse opens what many call the Hall of Faith, the 11th chapter of Hebrews, which moves through name after name of people who acted on what they believed before any of it was visible: Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Sarah, Moses, Rahab. The list goes on. But before the author names a single one of them, he stops to define what he is actually talking about. Not faith as a feeling. Faith is something with structure and weight. The word translated substance is the Greek word hypostasis. It is a remarkable word. Literally it means that which stands under, a foundation, a support. In the ancient world it was used in legal and financial documents to refer to a title deed, the document that established ownership of something not yet in hand. If you held the deed to a piece of land, you owned it, even before you had ever set foot on it. The paper was the proof. Hypostasis is that. Faith, in this definition, is not a wish. It is a title deed to a reality that has not yet arrived in visible form. The word translated evidence is elegchos, a legal term meaning proof or conviction, the kind that holds up under scrutiny. In a courtroom, evidence is not guesswork. It is the thing that establishes what is true. The writer of Hebrews is applying that same weight to faith. Faith is not the absence of evidence. Faith is itself a form of evidence, it is the proof, held in the present, of something that belongs to the future. It is worth pausing on the moment this letter was written. Hebrews was addressed to Jewish Christians who were under serious pressure. Many had already lost property, faced public humiliation, and watched others imprisoned for their beliefs. Some were being tempted to walk away from their faith entirely and return to the familiar safety of Judaism. The author is writing to people who are asking, is any of this real? Can I trust what I cannot see when what I can see is telling me to give up? And his answer is not, try harder to feel it. His answer is, faith is not about the feeling, it is about what you are standing on. The hypostasis. The thing underneath you that does not move even when your emotions do. This changes the way we understand what faith actually asks of us. It is not asking you to manufacture certainty you do not feel. It is not asking you to pretend doubt does not exist. It is asking whether, beneath all of that, you are standing on something solid enough to hold your weight, and then choosing to keep standing there. The hall of faith that follows this verse is full of people who had every reason to walk away. Abraham left his homeland for a destination he had not been shown, following a promise he could not yet verify. Noah built a boat when there was no rain. Moses chose difficulty and suffering over the comfort of Egypt. None of them had the completed picture in front of them. What they had was the deed, the settled conviction that what God had said was more reliable than what they could currently see. For us today, faith gets confused with certainty, and that confusion leaves a lot of people quietly convinced their faith is broken. You pray and feel nothing. You believe and still have doubts. The outcome you hoped for does not come the way you expected. And because the feeling is not there, you assume the faith is not either. But this verse does not define faith by how it feels. It defines faith by what it is, a substance, a foundation, a legal claim on something real. Feelings shift with circumstances. Foundations do not. The question Hebrews 11 verse 1 asks is not, do you feel certain? It is, what are you standing on? There is also something important in the word now that opens the verse. Not faith will be, or faith becomes, or faith gets easier with time. Now faith is. Present tense. The substance is available to you in the middle of the uncertainty, before the thing you are hoping for has arrived. That is the whole point. Faith is not what you look back on when things worked out. It is what you stand on while you are still waiting to find out. The takeaway, faith is not the feeling that everything will be fine, it is the foundation that holds you while you do not yet know whether it will be, anchored to a God whose word carries more weight than what you can currently see.